And we begin today with that major decision in our state's highest court. Harvey Weinstein's 2020 rape conviction here in New York overturned on the basis that he did not receive a fair trial. Good evening to you, everyone. We have a legal analyst right beside me here, and we're going to help you understand this monumental decision in just a moment and why the court ruled 4-3 to overturn this conviction. But before we get to that, what you need to know about this case. So it helped launch the Me Too movement, with prosecutors claiming the disgraced Hollywood mogul abused his power to take advantage of aspiring female actresses to coerce them into unwanted sexual encounters. But today, the New York Court of Appeals, the state's highest court, ruled that the trial judge, quote, erroneously admitted testimony of uncharged, alleged prior sexual acts against persons other than the complainants of the underlying crimes, and that this likely had an unfair influence on the jurors. The big question is what happens now. Attorney Kristen Elmore-Garcia is here with me live tonight. She's a litigator with the law office of John V. Elmore here in Buffalo. Great to have you back.
Thanks for having me, Michael.
So I want to start here just sort of in layman's terms. Help us understand, because this caught people off guard. I mean, we've covered just all of these allegations against Harvey Weinstein, and then to get this decision from the highest court today feels like a gut punch, I think, for a lot of people. I guess the law is the law. What was the reasoning?
You're absolutely right. The law is the law, and you've covered the allegations. The allegations themselves are well-founded against Harvey Weinstein, but our criminal courts have to follow the Constitution. Our criminal courts have to follow established procedure for admissibility of evidence. And what you found today was that the New York State Court of Appeals, which is New York State's highest level court, they ruled that a lot of the evidence that came in at the trial level was improper and not according to procedure and violated the accused, in this case, Harvey Weinstein's constitutional rights. Now, for anyone concerned of this conviction being overturned, well, Harvey Weinstein's not getting out of jail anytime soon. He's still incarcerated for charges stemming out of his California convictions. But what is likely we're going to see next is the procedure laying down for a new trial to be established so that prosecutors downstate in New York City can follow the proper procedure and follow the instructions laid out by the Court of Appeals today.
I'm not an attorney. The way I sort of read this is it's sort of the Court of Appeals saying the trial judge just messed up here, right? Which sort of just speaks to how important it is at that, that beginning level, right, where the trial actually happens, that the judge get it right.
The trial level is where all of the facts are presented before a jury who's going to evaluate the facts and decide what truly happened. And not all facts are allowed to be presented in front of a jury. So in this case, specifically the evidence that the Court of Appeals decided should not have been put in front of the jury was uncharged bad acts. And for your viewers who are interested, there are two major hearings that the Court of Appeals said that the prosecutors didn't abide by in admitting evidence that's barred by two cases, one called Molyneux and one called Sandoval. And as far as the evidence, you can't use someone's prior bad acts to prove that they're more likely to commit a crime. It doesn't sound intuitive to a layman, but you're not allowed to use somebody's personality, things that they're known for, their reputation, to prove that they're more likely to commit a certain act that they're charged for and being tried for in that case. So in this situation, there was evidence allowed of unrelated improper sexual assault activity with unrelated victims and unrelated dates and times. And the prosecutors stated that they were presenting that evidence not to prove that he's more likely to commit a similar crime, but they said it was to add context to his motive, context to the way he operates. The Court of Appeals decided that that reasoning actually was improper and came in for the wrong reasons.
You talk about the Sandoval hearing. A lot of us became familiar with that this week because there was the Sandoval hearing in Donald Trump's case.
Absolutely.
In New York State Court, where they were deciding which prior bad acts are admissible, the judge deciding that. Finally, when you talk about justice, you mentioned there is also the California case against Harvey Weinstein, for which he is serving a prison sentence. Do you see this having any impact on that? Will this case be retried here in New York? And of course, you can also seek justice in civil courts, right? There are myriad ways, I guess, to seek justice.
There's many ways to seek justice. We very well likely see another trial. I'd anticipate the prosecutors are preparing to present another trial and going through the motions to get that case retried in front of a brand new, fresh jury, and reconsidering all of the instructions that they would have received in a 77-page decision from the Court of Appeals. The victims do also have an opportunity to move separately in civil court to obtain civil justice for those actions, and it's a different standard in civil court. But I think because he's still incarcerated, he's not getting out anytime soon. At least, hopefully, the victims in the New York case can hold on to that and know that he's not going to harm anybody else.
While we wait for the case to be retried. Attorney Kristen Elmore-Garcia from the Law Office of John V. Elmore, thanks for coming in and helping us understand what was a very surprising decision, but makes more sense now.
Thanks for having me.
All right.